Hello everybody, it's Leanne here, and I am live to answer a question that I received this question a lot, and it is a very common thing if you are struggling with adrenal fatigue. So if you have adrenal fatigue and you wake up in the morning feeling like shit, and you feel like you didn't sleep, and you feel maybe like hungover, groggy, really like foggy headed, then this is the live stream for you. If you have morning exhaustion, you're in the right place. So I was doing some polling over on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, why not? I'm over there all the time. In fact, I'm there more than I'm here, and I'm often doing stories and extra content and more insider scoop into my life and my lifestyle and the things that I do and the things that I have done to reverse adrenal fatigue. And so this is a really common one, and this was something that I struggled with. I mean, this was the last thing for me that it kind of just hung around forever. So annoying, right? And I do remember times when I just couldn't get out of bed. My kids were late for school almost every day because I just couldn't get it together. I just couldn't lift my head off the pillow is literally what it felt like. So I know how annoying and life-altering that can be. It can make it really challenging. And so this was a question that came up, and I thought, why not answer it here? And so I'm going to offer you some suggestions. So the reason why this happens, medically speaking, from my knowledge, my research, there have been some things I've heard recently from a couple of different experts that they're actually debunking this whole thing. They're saying that adrenal fatigue doesn't actually exist. And there's, people that are challenging this idea. However, I know what I experienced, and I know what all the women have experienced and are experiencing that come and work with me, and the type of symptoms and the way that we go about reversing those symptoms are very similar. And so whatever you want to call it, adrenal HP axis dysfunction is the more of the medical term that functional medicine doctors use. Whatever you want to call it, from my research, from my best understanding, morning fatigue is a result of low morning cortisol. So when you wake up in the morning, we want to have our cortisol at the highest level. So we wake up and we're ready to roll. We've had a really good restorative sleep. Cortisol then starts to go downward in the evening to get us ready to go to sleep. And sometimes what can happen is these things reverse. So at night, you might find you get a second wind at 11. You lie down and you're tossing and turning and you cannot get your mind to rest and you can't sleep, which at night is when your cortisol should be at its lowest so that you can sleep. So sometimes this gets reversed. This was the case for me. Luckily, I didn't have a lot of issues sleeping, unless back then, I had little kids, and oftentimes my sleep was disrupted from having little kids. I mean, that whole thing was just a blur. Thank goodness my kids sleep now. My goodness, I'm so glad I'm over that phase. To all you mamas with kids still waking up at night, holy Moses, right? Like, that makes it so much more difficult. That's a whole other realm to live in. And I made it through with 3 kids. They're all older now and they sleep. So you want to, be, getting tired around 10 and going to sleep. So if you have this going on, there are some things you can do. And I cover this in its entirety inside of my Master Your Energy program. Around sleep self-care, sleep hygiene, sleep rituals, really getting your body back into a rhythm for sleep. Because when you are operating from high stress levels throughout the day, maybe you have anxiety, maybe you're revved up and you are just pushing, you're doing too many things and your body is in that fight or flight mode all day long. You're not just going to lie down and magically go to sleep, right? You have to train your nervous system and you have to train yourself through the things that you do. But I'm going to offer you 3 things that you can do to start, getting more of that rhythm in place. So number 1 is to make sure that it's lights out by 11. Because that's when you could end up getting that second wind around 11 o'clock at night. And then you'll find maybe you're laying there awake, or hopefully not on a laptop or device till 1 or 2 in the morning. And then you wake up in the morning and of course you're going to feel crap, right? Because you haven't slept properly the full cycle. So I would even say by 10 o'clock. And so that's the first thing. The second tip is to shut down all of your screens by 8 p.m. so that you have that 2 hours to do other things that are about unwinding, self-care, reading, whatever it is you like to do, writing in a journal, having hot baths, whatever it is that you like to do, is finding something that will help you start to unwind, because the blue light from technology kills melatonin. We need our melatonin to build up into the night so that we can sleep. And if you're on a device late into the night, it starts to deplete your melatonin stores. So one of the things I do, I don't have to worry about it as much because I don't have any sleep issues whatsoever, and I wake up in the morning feeling refreshed. I'm up by 6:30, 7 o'clock. Naturally, it's when I wake up. Sometimes right now with my kids home, I'll just lay there until 8 because I don't book clients until 10. I do that intentionally, so I have my morning routines. But if you're not in that position, then, you're going to need to make sure you're getting sleep on the other end of that to make sure. Sleep is self-care. It's very, very important. So, what I was saying to that is I have blue light blocking glasses. So if you have to be, who knows what you have to be doing at 8 o'clock. Maybe it's for work. Maybe you work late nights. I don't know. But find a really good pair of blue light blocking glasses. You can get them on Amazon. And so I have those if maybe I am doing something past 8 o'clock, or if I'm watching TV, which is rare. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I always have those on. Sometimes I'm responding to clients. I shouldn't be doing that. I know, that late at night. Sometimes I am, because I want to get back to them before I go to bed. I'm always working on my social media boundaries, by the way. It's a lot harder when it's clients and, I care about them and they mean everything. And so sometimes I will make that little bit of a tweak. But for the most part, I am not doing anything. I don't bring my phone into bed as a general rule. We don't have a TV in our room. I don't watch TV until the very last minute. But again, I don't have those issues. I'm still mindful of my self-care and my sleep, and I get enough sleep. So for someone that's not, though, like in the beginning, I had to really be on top of the things I was doing to make sure I was getting the right sleep. So that's tip number 2, shutting down screens by 8 o'clock. And the third thing is you need to look at as I mentioned before, your daily stress levels. How revved up are you? Are you easily triggered by everything? Do you find yourself reacting emotionally to the things that are happening and they just feel like this big emotional thing? What about your anxiety levels? Those are all things that keep your nervous system flipped on, revved up, turned on, jacked up. That means that there is cortisol surging through your veins all day long. And that's not how we're designed. That's not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to have those stress, fight or flight responses when we literally are in danger. Like there's something literally risking our life, like being chased by a bear is an analogy that's used a lot. Your fight or flight kicks on and you run like hell and you've got the adrenaline pumping to get you. Have you ever had a situation like that happen? Like a car accident. When I was in a car accident, I had the worst stress response ever when that was happening. I had my little guy in the back and it was just horrible. The coming down off of that was horrible. I swear that was what shocked my adrenals into like a really bad state. So, because a car accident can be a trigger, by the way. So it's really important to pay attention. What's going on day to day? What are the daily stressors? Are you fighting with your spouse all the time? Is your work a stress? Do you hate every minute of it? Is there someone you work with that's not pulling their weight, or they're putting stuff on your plate that is not yours to take? Are you working way too many hours without any work boundaries? What are you doing to cushion the stress? We can't avoid it all. We can't live in a bubble. This isn't fairy tale land. It's real life. It's living as humans are. But what can you do to cushion the stress so that it's not impacting your health so deeply? So the third tip is to really look at your stress. What are the real deep things that are stressing you out day to day? And it's a lot of times the hidden stressors. The food sensitivities, the digestive issues, the emotional stress, the anxiety, feeling not good enough, having low self-confidence, weak boundaries, not speaking up. There's all these things that are internal stressors, how we talk to ourselves. Are you on and off diets all the time and beating yourself up because your body doesn't look like a size 1 or 0? What is going on internally? Those are the stressors that I help my clients deal with. Of course, we do talk about nutrition. It's a small part of what I do. And I share the things that I did that helped me. But the biggest piece is the internal stuff. It's the internal work, and it's really looking deep within, because that's the stuff that's going to create longevity. The change for the long haul, there's no quick fix to any of this. When we're talking about this kind of stuff, there's no quick fix. All right, so I wanted to share this with you, and also to invite you, if you have not already taken the free 5-day Adrenal Kickstart Challenge. I'll put the link above here. It's 5 videos over 5 days, but you can do it all at once. I have it set up. You can just sit down and do it in an afternoon if you want, or you can just go into the site and do it day by day, however you want to do it. But they're pretty short. The videos are all like 5 minutes or under. And each day we're diving into a different aspect of healing. And it's basically just dipping your toes into the full program that I have, which is the Master Your Energy Self-Study. It's also the program I put my one-to-one clients through while they're working with me one-to-one. So it's a very powerful combination. But if you want to learn more about this aspect, I go into it as well around the sleep. And we talk about emotional stress. We talk about how to set your morning meal up and set your morning up to have steady energy, because what you do in the morning is going to impact how you feel at night and how you sleep. And all of that impacts how you feel again the next morning. So your morning meal matters, and your morning practices matter when you have adrenal fatigue. Huge, huge, huge. They always matter, but they matter even more as a part of recovery. So we go into that. We go into relational stress. You know, if you have the day-to-day spouse stress, you feel unheard, unseen, like you don't have a voice, like he doesn't listen, he's not there for you. You're just feeling that stress. It's very stressful for a woman. We talk about that in there. So I really go deep. I'm not into the surface fluff stuff. And so many women have gone through it, and I've gotten messages about how impactful that this was. And then they go on to take the full program. But of course you don't have to. I created this just so that you could have a little window into what holistic healing really is, right? Holistic means mind, body, spirit, soul, purpose, relationships, self-connection, boundaries, all of that, including self-care. So I'm truly into the holistic method, and I am a holistic, I'm a specialist in that, right? Because I get what that is. And that's what I had to do to heal from my adrenal issues. For 10 years I had them. And it wasn't until I started doing the internal work that everything started to finally shift to the point where I'm not there anymore. Thank goodness, right? Thank goodness. All right, so I'm going to leave that for you above here. If that's something you want to do as a next step, you just sign up and you'll get access to the program for free. And you can go in and do the exercises and do the homework assignments that I give you in that as my gift to you, because I want to see you thrive and I want to see you overcome this as well, just as I have, because you can get your life back, you can heal, you can feel healthy again, and forget what it feels like to be exhausted and feel like crap. Isn't that wonderful? Like, do you want that? All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you like this video, share it out. Leave me a comment, give me a heart, let me know, because this is what this is all about. Social media is about, I want to know, did this impact you? Is this something you're struggling with? Is this something that you're trying to figure out? You didn't really know that this was an adrenal fatigue symptom. I want to know. So leave me a comment below and share with me how this has impacted you. I'd love to know. I'll speak with you soon. Bye for now.